good, everybody? This your boy Paul, sitting next to Hassan, and my man Robbie J. And this is part 2 to questions that people are afraid to ask white people.
Ask real quick if you could to follow us on Instagram. The details will be in the video. Follow us on Instagram, like, share, subscribe. Love to see that on YouTube. We're also on Spotify. We're also on iHeartRadio. Check us out. We really appreciate it. And your interaction helps the podcast to succeed. People think, oh, I just watch a video and that's it. No, if you watch a video and if you provide a comment, if you send us an email at info@blackchatpodcast.com, we can read those. We can get better at our craft, get better at what we're doing. We want to provide you with quality content. So appreciate you all continuing to listen. And let's get on with the episode. What you got for me today, Paul?
Yo, I got some stuff for you today, but
Yeah, I bet you do.
nothing crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to find some things out because we deal with a lot of stuff, and so I believe it's time to get a little serious on like a few things.
Sounds good. Let's do it.
No, we do a lot of coke and joking, but I do got to ask you a question though.
All right, go for it.
I seen that the new Captain America is on Disney Plus.
Oh my God.
Have you watched it yet?
No, I told you I hate Marvel. I don't know. I don't know how I can convey that in another way.
It's a good one.
I hate Marvel. I despise it.
But what if your kids ask you to watch it with you? You still, so what you gonna do? I mean, if your kid asks you, hey, watch it with me.
So if my kids want to watch it, of course, absolutely.
Gotcha.
I'll
All right.
absolutely watch it with them. You know, I'm a big believer in I don't get to dictate everything in the family. That some things we're going to let the kids have an option on, especially with movies. If there's a movie they want to, like Lilo and Stitch, we went to see that recently. I didn't want to see that. I don't care. But in the same, I mean, the previews were pretty funny. I'll give it that. But the preview was what was funny in the movie, so I didn't laugh once. That's unfortunate. But they got to dictate that. I was fine with it, you know. But there's some things you can do for your kids and just suck it up sometimes.
I got you.
Yeah. But yes, we will watch that.
So-
My concern is how long Red Hawk's in the movie, bro. I heard he's in there for 5 minutes. That's not really very
No,
interesting.
it was good. But my
Yeah.
question is, what would you do if your children say, Dad, this is the best Captain America ever?
Well, first I would say he's black. He's not Captain America.
I knew.
And the second thing I would say is that he's Falcon, and I don't understand why we keep doing this kind of silly stuff. Like I mentioned on the previous episode, if we had a White Black Panther, what would it be called? White Panther? It would be silly. It's silly.
To be completely real
Yeah,
with
go
you,
ahead.
I have seen stuff going around, and it has
I don't like that.
social media in an uproar where they're trying to cast Ryan Gosling as Black
that.
Panther.
Oh,
seen
get
that.
out of here.
I've seen that.
No, I don't like
And
that.
then the funny thing about it is you got people saying like, oh, they turn Little Mermaid black, they turn Cinderella black. Why we can't have like a white Black Panther?
Because it's called Black Panther.
Because it's
Yeah,
called
it's
Black
called Black
It's
Panther.
called Black
That's right.
Panther.
Mhm.
Well, a lot of people don't understand though, for real though, there was a black Captain America.
Mhm.
Okay, well, it's not for me. I will give you one. So I thought about this, right? Because to be fair about it, I thought about this. So I grew up with watching Justice League Unlimited and Justice League. I don't know if you watched any of those
I did.
cartoons back in the day, in the
I did.
2000s. They were
I did.
freaking excellent.
Mhm.
So as you know, there were many iterations of Green Lantern.
Mhm.
One of the best was John Stewart. Absolutely, hands down, the best, in my opinion, Green Lantern, which hasn't been turned to film. They keep using Hal Jordan. I don't really care. So I think it's cultural as well. I think it's the time frame that you grew up in. So to me, Green Lantern's always been a black guy, and that's what I look for. So if I don't see that, I'm just like, I don't really like this iteration. It's not for me. They also ruined the movies with a, I
But
mean,
there-
it was
But there
garbage.
are black Green Lanterns.
Yeah,
There are a bunch of them.
right, I know.
The
That's what I
aliens
mean.
and everything.
Sure, that's fine.
What about a black Superman?
No, I don't like it.
Man of Steel.
Yeah.
What about Man of Steel?
That was the black Superman.
Mhm.
They called him Man of Steel.
Okay.
Let's just turn all the characters black. See,
That's right. I mean, that's really kind of my thing when we talk about Marvel and stuff like that. Why are we doing it? Is always what I come back to. Is it because the character is popular? Like, I'll give an example that's not race related. Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel is dog awful. It's a terrible character. Carol Danvers sucks. There's no one that I know that really is like, oh my gosh, a Carol Danvers movie? Oh boy, like no one cares. But yet they kind of don't get upset. I'm just telling you, like when they shoehorned her in that before Endgame, I was like, I don't care. I didn't even watch it. I still to this day haven't watched Captain Marvel. I don't care.
But I like it. I liked it.
I watched it with
Oh,
like I
goodness.
mean
Yeah,
I
you
watched
liked it.
I watched it with my family, and
Yeah.
my daughter actually enjoyed the movie.
Mhm.
Like she liked it.
That's okay if your daughter likes it. I mean, we just had that conversation. I'm
Yeah.
not here to tell people what they can and can't like. I'm just saying it's not for me.
Gotcha.
I don't like it.
Hey, it's not for everybody. I get it.
Like it.
Oh, like it.
I got it. It's not for everybody.
Right.
Cool.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you look post Endgame, Captain Marvel made $1 billion, no doubt about that. But post Endgame, they had to bring in other characters, and the movie still failed. So she can't even hold her own movie. No one's interested in that character. I'm just telling you the truth. I'm not saying whether it's right or wrong. I'm just saying box office wise, Carol Danvers is not a seller. She's just not.
Okay.
And we can look at that. I mean,
Well, I didn't like the first Black Panther, so
Oh God, here we go.
hated it. I will not watch
still
it.
don't get that.
I watched
man.
it once.
It's one of the most popular movies of all time.
Didn't like it.
Like, I don't get that.
All
I
right.
loved it.
On that note, let's get to the episode. All right,
All right, man.
y'all ready for this?
Ready.
Man, oh man, like you got the questions, don't you?
Yeah, but I mean, I haven't looked at them in a little bit. I want to keep it fresh, bro. I don't
Let's
want
keep
my
it fresh.
reactions to be rehearsed.
All right, so
Okay.
I got a question for you. So
Yep.
look at it like this. We deal with a society where, and even like where we work, you know what I mean? Mental health is a big thing,
Yes.
right? And we deal with a lot of people that take their lives. And the word suicide. So I did a little research and I found some crazy stats. Suicide is the 11th leading cause of death in the United States. Now, granted, they have not really updated certain things, so I just put it out there. But what I was able to find, the latest of 2023, that was 49,316 deaths by suicide in America. 1.5 million suicide attempts. So that was 14.21 per 100,000 people in 2023.
Okay.
In 2023, men died by suicide 3.8 times more than women. White males accounted for 68.13% of the suicide deaths. Firearms accounted for 55.36% of all suicides. My question is, why do you feel that white males have the highest suicide percentage? What is it that causes them to take their lives? Like, granted, blacks commit suicide, women commit suicide, but it's astounding how the white male percentage is that astronomically high. Why do you feel like that's the case?
Well, not to answer a question with a question, and I think this kind of gets to my point, which is, what is white culture? Right. No one knows. I don't know. I don't know what white culture is. So when I look at the issue, I think culturally speaking, I would say that brown people, black people, whatever we talked about in the previous episode, brown is apparently what Hassan prefers. But you all have a strong culture. You have a strong family dynamic. You have something that you can rely on, say Black Pride or whatever it is, or working to strive as a community towards something. I don't really see that collectively as a white person. So I think, and folks may disagree, that's perfectly fine, but I don't really see a white culture at all. I'm not saying that doesn't mean that white people aren't the majority in the country. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying underlying culture. What is our culture? If you look at Asian kids, what is their strong reliance on as a culture? Education. There's no doubt about it.
Right.
Whether that's a stereotype or not, I don't think it is. I think some stereotypes are just true just based on the facts. So they have a hard reliance on performing well, on studying. They have a hard reliance on making sure that their elders are respected in their society. I don't see that with white people. And I think that's basically where that comes from. When you have nothing to hold on to, when you feel like you're just being blown around, or you feel like you don't have a place to stay. I also think, and this will be controversial, which is that white men are, I think, blame for things that they haven't necessarily done. And what I mean by that is to say, historically, you could look at things and say, well, white people did this, white people did that. But I do think that as a generational aspect, when you look at older generations are different from younger generations, but yet younger generations are actually living with that guilt or living with that association with slavery or with things like that. And I think for older generations, that's certainly fine because they have a lot to answer for. But for the younger generations, we've talked before that there's inherent bias towards Black people within our culture. We'll never get rid of that. But I do think that there is an expectation that these generations right now will have to suffer through what their parents did. And I don't necessarily think that that's fair. So I think each generation's accountable for what they've done, right? And if we've seen movement towards more acceptance, things like that in our culture, it's certainly not perfect, but I do think that that underlying, I think, affects people's, especially white men's mental health. Now, I can't speak to that. I don't really feel that way.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to hypothesize what I think it could be.
Right.
I don't know that I have a direct answer for you other than to say that white men are rudderless. They don't have who would you name as a leader of white men? Jordan Peterson, maybe. I don't know. Like who would you put out there to say is a someone that people aspire to be as a white person? I don't know that I could name a single person off the top of my head.
I mean, like, I can understand that because if you look, like, I sort of understand your point. I mean, that's quite interesting. Haven't really thought of it like that. But at the same exact time, with a follow up, don't you think that although the older generation did do a lot of damage and do a lot of things to Black culture, even if you go look down in history, Indians, just like we talked about in a couple of episodes back, someone want to call me out because I brought up the Tulsa Massacre, Black Wall Street.
It was interesting. I looked at that over the weekend. Thank you. No,
Yeah.
seriously.
So yeah, but if you look at it, a lot of things that have been done has been done predominantly by white people.
Yeah, I agree.
Right?
I totally
So-
agree with that.
So when you think about it, and even that, even those that are still along, a lot of things some of the stuff is passed down, is taught.
Yep.
So do you feel that the reason why they're trying to erase a lot of things is to get rid of the evidence of what they've done?
Get rid of the guilt.
What
Yeah,
do you mean?
Because
Expound.
they must, I heard this before, that a lot of Black people believe that things that were done to us, they want to erase it, to get rid of it so that they won't feel guilty about it. And with that being said, who do you think should answer to it? Because in every other, I'm just going to call it a massacre because we were massacred.
Mhm.
In Africa, here, when the Jewish people received all of their, paybacks or their reparations, they received theirs. We never received anything. We were promised it, but we never received it. So who should answer to it? Who should answer for that? If not the current generation. Not saying we're going to pinpoint, oh, Rob, your family did this, not saying that, but who should answer?
Gotcha. That's the question that we all want to know.
Or do they?
Even me, I don't even know
like,
what the answer to
That's
that
the
is.
issue. That's the problem. We don't know who should answer.
I mean, I look at it from a religious aspect. So follow my logic with this. So, everyone has their own religion. I'm a Christian. I think that Paul is as
I'm
well.
Christian.
Hassan's mediocre. I'm just kidding.
Wait till someone hears that.
No, but I mean, the three of us on this panel are Christians, correct? So
Mhm.
when you stand before the throne, my question is, are you judged of the sins of your collective ancestry, or are you judged on your own sins?
It's your own sins.
That's correct. So using that as kind of my inference for this type of question is, I don't have any accountability except for what I've done.
Mhm.
So if I have treated someone, if I owned slaves at one point in my life, I would be accountable for those things. I totally agree with you. Now, to Hassan's point, as a country, what do we collectively owe? I think that's a hard question because is some payment due? We did promise 10 acres and a mule.
40.
Oh, excuse me.
There's 40 acres of mule.
Yeah.
Sorry. See, I'm already trying to whitewash history as they do. So I know that was what was promised and that was never given, right?
Mhm.
So what is that debt over an accumulation of time? I don't know. And I can't answer that question. And to Hassan's point, how would we even go about making sure that that was done in an appropriate way? I don't have an answer for that. I really don't. I think it's a great question. I'm willing to deep dive on that in a future episode for the folks that get mad at us that we don't deep dive into things. But as we said, these are general questions.
Yeah, like it's general, and I'm just trying to change things up because mental health is a big thing, man. I mean, and we hear about it and see it every day. You have people from young to old that take their lives, and I found that quite astounding that the number was that high. So,
I mean, there's